So here we have a used 2019 Cadillac CT6-V series. This one comes in Manhattan Noir Metallic, and then we have dark auburn leather interior. The powertrain consists of a 4.2 liter twin turbocharged V8 engine. That's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Just a little over 15,000 miles on this one, so a really nice spec here. Front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED signature lights. And I just love this car. It really was a dream car of mine when they first came out, and it still just leaves me in awe every time I see one in person. Down here to these wheels, these are gonna be 20-inch alloy. We get passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. Door panel here, memory seat functions, power seat functions, 4-way power lumbar support. We get one-touch up and down windows on all 4 doors. Power mirror controls are here. We can also power fold those, power door locks, rear window lock, and then we do get blind spot monitors in those side mirrors. There's the boot release there, Bose sound system. Underneath here, hit this twice to pop the hood. Electronic parking brake, heads-up display controls. You get a power tilt telescoping steering wheel. And then here's the seat itself. But I want to give a huge thanks to Auto Pro Nashville and Auto Collection of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. Now I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so gonna get in behind myself here, close the door. And the CT6 just always has had a phenomenal amount of space back here. It feels absolutely like an S-Class, and that's one of the reasons that the CT6 came out, to kind of compete with that there. But space is incredible. Seat back pockets are on both sides. You get your quad zone automatic climate controls, and then you do get this 36 speaker Panerai system. So I mean, that's just, sound quality is 10 out of 10. I love it. There's a view of the front. But the rear entertainment system is actually really nice. You just kind of can run off the HDMI inputs if you want to plug something in there. Whether it's like a laptop, it's probably the best. But if you had an Xbox or something like that and you had an inverter, you could really play your games back here. But a really nice system, and the screens look fantastic, and when they're off, they just kind of go back into the back of the seats themselves, and it's really neat. Now over here we have controls for the rear sunshade there, and then also for the back window shade as well. So all that's working great. And then you also have your rear blinds. So you just kind of take those, put them in there. Pretty easy to get in, and it's kind of a good thing. It's harder to get out, just so people aren't messing with it if you have your kids back here. But then your 3-stage heated seats are also on the door panel. But it's so easy to get in and out of these things because the opening to get out of the door is so wide. So it makes it easier for people like myself to get in and out. But child locks, lock, unlock there. But to the back end, LED tail lamps. Love the quad tip exhaust. And then still plenty of space behind the back seat, and there's your spare tire. Fuel fillers here. You want to make sure you're putting premium in a car like this. And then if you need the top tethers for the seats, they're behind the seats themselves. And then the lower anchors are way back in there. You can't even see them, but they're way behind the seat. And then to our front passenger seat, controls are also on the door with your memory seat function. And your glove box button is there. And there are the owner's manuals and Once you all see this original window sticker. So this is pre-COVID, but you'll see this thing is so loaded out, still pushing $100,000. But you can pause anywhere you need to. Sticker for $96,515. And it's crazy you had the gas guzzler tax because you're only getting 14 city, 25 highway, which I think is pretty good for an engine like that. But now the crazy thing is, this car is only, and it's very sought after, $62,950 here at Auto Pro and Auto Collection of Murfreesboro. And again, those miles is what really makes this a even more sought after spec. Very low. But to the engine bay, there's that beautiful twin turbo V8. And then the blinkers. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So nice leather wrap steering wheel here. There's the horn. Over here to the radio, I have the rear entertainment screen on now. So we can cut those on or off in the back. And I always love this whenever you get in the car, start it up, this pops out of the dash. But for audio, AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, we do get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility as well. Built-in navigation system here, which is nice, so you can zoom in, zoom out, find your destination, so on and so forth. And then your settings here, you can change your language there. And then your apps here, and your vehicle settings over here, which include your rear seat reminder and teen driver. Backup cameras here, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. You also get that bird's eye view as well. And then your front camera, just a ton of different views that you have. And then you have different apps that you can put on as well. But with an SD card inserted, you actually have a video recorder. So if you want to record your laps or whatever, you can do that, which is pretty neat. And then for your climate controls, you get dual zone automatic, and you can control that from the screen here. Those two in the back, but then you also have the two in the front down here as buttons or knobs. So you can kind of use the levers here, and then 3-stage heated cooled seats for the front as well. But behind the shifter, go through your drive modes here. You do get a sport, tour, track, and then snow and ice. And then your traction control, auto brake hold, bottle holders, you can stow those if you want to. And then to put the vehicle in gear, just push on this button, pull down for drive, tap for manual, hold up for neutral, then push the button in, pull all the way up for reverse, press P for park. And your volume knob is down here. You can click that to mute. You have shortcuts for the audio, nav, phone, and then you can use this scroll bar to go through the screen itself if you don't want to use the touchscreen. Wireless charging pads here, a little storage in the center console, cubby space there, and then the SD card reader for the nav is there, and then this USB-C and USB-A port are what you can run for the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay into the screen there. Rear camera mirror, and then you can actually control both of the, well, I guess all three of the shades here. So the back window, the second row skylight, and then the front roof there. And there are the lights, but you can also tilt or slide the roof with this little lever here. So I'm gonna push this one touch and see how far it goes back. So pretty nice all the way behind the shade there. And then you can shut it with a one touch as well. But universal garage door transmitters there, your OnStar. And there's a look at the back seat from up here. And then I'm just gonna show you how these screens go down, because I have them up here, and just with a touch of a button, they go back in to the seats there. But there's so many electronics here, it's actually pretty neat. Now back to the screen, hazards there, your auto stop toggles here. You actually get a self park assist if you want to use that. Your parking sensors can be toggled there. And then back to the steering wheel itself, left side stock. And then your low beams, auto high beam toggle is there, and then you can flash the high beams here. You get your rain sense wiper, so one time off, auto, low, high. You can adjust the auto wiper sensitivity there and pull up here for the fluid. Now, wouldn't be a Blackwing without having these paddle shifters behind the steering wheel in the auto version, so we do get those. And then we have adaptive cruise with a driver assist package on this one, so you can turn that on or off here. Hold this cancel button on the side if you want to go between adaptive and regular cruise. And then you can just set the speed here. Mute button, voice recognition, gap adjust for the radar cruise and the forward collision alert. And then we have the lane departure, heated steering wheel. We can go through the track list, radio station presets here. Volume is there. Now, the right side of the steering wheel, you can use all of this to go through the gauge cluster. So depending on what you're trying to do, you can see all of that there. So tire pressure monitors, so on and so forth. So a ton that you can actually fool with in the actual screen. And then the heads up display, gonna zoom in there. And there it is. And you can change what's on the screen with those buttons off to the side here. Push button start. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. But now for the fun part. Let's go ahead and take this 2019 CT6-V Blackwing out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this CT6-V with the Blackwing V8. This car is, I think, one of the greatest vehicles that Cadillac ever built. You have the luxury of the CT6 just with how it rides, how it drives, just the comfort level. But then you have a twin turbo V8 on top of that that just sounds incredible, feels incredible. It's just so freaking fast. You really just get the best of everything here. I even have this car in track mode now, and I've had it there for a minute, but I actually had the 4-cylinder deactivation mode going while in track mode, while I was just kind of putting around the park where I film. And it's just neat that you have so much that you can really do with this car. It's still relatively practical. You're getting 25 miles per gallon on the highway with this 10-speed automatic, and again with the cylinder deactivation mode, that's really where this shines. Now, this car has gone 15,000 miles and has only averaged 14 miles a gallon, so I'm sure nobody was hypermiling it, taking it on road trips. They were just driving around town and flooring it every so often, so that's why you have that. But I'm really not quite sure about the gas guzzler tax on this as I've actually driven it, because it's probably the only car I've ever heard of that has 4-cylinder deactivation mode and is paying a gas guzzler tax. That's just it's crazy to think of. But again, even in the track mode here, so refined, relatively quiet for this to be the car that it is. It's still a V series, and the fact that it still has that Cadillac feel to it, like flagship Cadillac, not even like Escalade Cadillac, it's impressive. But I have space, so I'm gonna give it a pull. Here we go. Yeah, that is nice. A very quick car, very quick. I'm gonna put it into the tour mode now. But But I want to give one more huge thanks to Auto Pro Nashville and Auto Collection of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below, or actually that third link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get to the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. But tour mode now, adaptive cruise control going. The ride is still, it's not as plush as a typical CT6, but it's very close. Still super comfortable. And the sound acoustics in here are very good. It's very quiet in the cabin. Road noise is not noticeable at all, even on these 20s. And I mean, it's a phenomenal riding car. The driving is fun, but it's still a Cadillac CT6, and you still get the ride quality that you expect from a vehicle of this caliber. And what I love is in the tour mode, this thing is still fast. It still picks up, it still goes. It just doesn't necessarily roar like in the sport mode or in the track mode. It's not necessarily trying to redline. It just goes through the gears swiftly. It's still very quick with the pickup and how quick the shifts are, but it's just not as harsh, if that makes sense. And now again, even in the track mode, the way this thing rides, shifts, all of that, it's still smooth, which is crazy. But you just get more of an adrenaline rush, of course, with the track mode. And that exhaust, I can't get enough of it. But I think this is a pretty good price right now. These really have held their value, unfortunately for me, because it really is a dream car of mine. But they've held their value over the years. This is a 2019. We're almost in 2026. It's still holding 2/3 of its original sticker price. And you know, this will probably hold its value more, and it already has shown that, than a typical Cadillac. Now obviously newer vehicles, they kind of hold their value a bit better than older stuff. I feel like reliability wise, vehicles have just, you know, with technology and whatnot, they've gotten better. They're easier to manage, easier to fix. But I mean, this is still like, gosh, if I had the money, wouldn't hesitate to pull the trigger on something like this. It's that much fun. It's that fancy, and it really is a Cadillac CT6-V. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this Cadillac CT6-V Blackwing.